Have you ever opened a new spreadsheet and just stared at it, frozen? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. But what if I told you that in the next 5 minutes, we can turn that intimidating grid into one of your most powerful tools for organizing, well, pretty much anything? Let's demystify Excel, and let's get you started with some real confidence right now.
You know that feeling, right? You open up a new file and it's just this giant, empty grid of endless boxes. It can feel super overwhelming, and honestly, that's completely normal. Our mission today is to swap that feeling of confusion for a feeling of clarity.
Okay, so first things first, before we can start doing all the cool stuff, we've got to get our bearings. We need to know the lay of the land, Speak the language. Let's start with two key terms you're going to hear all the time. A workbook, that's the entire Excel file itself. The best way to think of it is like a digital binder. Now, inside that binder, you have your worksheets, which are just the individual pages or tabs at the bottom. So one workbook can hold a ton of worksheets. Simple, right? Now look at this little rectangle. If there is one single thing you need to understand, it's this cell. Every piece of information you ever put into Excel, whether it's a word, a number, or a super powerful formula, it all lives inside one of these little boxes. It's like the basic building block for everything. So how do we actually control all this? Well, think of the top part of the screen as your control panel. That big thing with all the buttons is called the ribbon. That's your main toolbox. Just below it, you've got the formula bar, which is kind of like an X-ray. It shows you what's really inside a cell. And see all these letters and numbers? They're not just for decoration. They give every single cell a unique address. Just like in the game Battleship, B4, C10. That's how we tell Excel exactly where to look. All right, we know our way around now. So let's move on to the next step, taking messy raw data and making it actually make sense.
And this is a really crucial point. Good formatting, it isn't just about making your spreadsheet look pretty. It's about making the information so clear that anyone, including you 6 months from now, can understand it at a glance. It's all about clarity.
And Excel's toolkit for this is super easy to use. Need to make a total stand out? Just make it bold. Want your headers to pop? Add a little background color. Is your text getting cut off? Just drag the column to make it wider. These little 1-second tweaks make a massive difference in how easy your sheet is to read. This is especially important for numbers. I mean, if you just see the number 50, what does that even mean? Is it $50? 50%? To give it context, you just select the cell, head up to the number section on the Home tab, and tell Excel what it is. It's that easy. Okay, now we get to the really good part. This is where Excel transforms from just a simple table into a powerful assistant. We've put our data in, we've made it look good. Now we're going to let Excel do the actual work for us. But before we start calculating, let's get our data in order. There are two amazing tools for this, sorting and filtering. Sorting is exactly what it sounds like. It puts everything in order, A to Z, smallest to largest, you get it. Filtering is even cooler. It lets you temporarily hide all the data you don't want to see so you can just focus on the stuff that really matters right now. All right, you ready? Because this is the moment Excel stops being just a list and starts being a brain. We're talking about formulas. This is where the magic really, really happens. And I promise you, it is not as complicated as it sounds. Every single formula you will ever write starts with one simple thing, the equals sign. Once you typed equals, you just click on the cells you want to use, type what you want to do, add, subtract, whatever, and then hit enter. That's it. Excel does the rest.
And you know what's even cooler? Excel has a bunch of built-in shortcuts, or functions, that are basically pre-made magic spells. Instead of adding 100 cells one by one, you just use the sum function. Need to find the average or the highest number in a massive list? There's a function for that. Honestly, just mastering these few will save you so much time.
So we've got clean data and we've got our calculations. But a big grid of numbers is, well, it's still just a grid of numbers. The final and maybe most important step is to make that data tell a story. And we do that with charts. Okay, so for example, look at this table of sales data. It's totally accurate, perfectly clean, but what's the story here? To see the trend, you have to read every single number and kind of compare them in your head. Now, look at this. Same exact data, but turned into a simple chart. Instantly, you see the story. There was a little dip in the third quarter, but a huge spike in the fourth. You don't have to read it anymore, you just see it. That's the power of visualizing your data. So what can you actually do with all these skills? Because this isn't just theory. You can build some really useful stuff right now.
For instance, you could take some regional sales data, use a quick formula to calculate the percentages, and then create a simple chart just like this to build a little dashboard. Immediately, you can see which region is your top performer.
Or, hey, what about a personal budget? You could list your expenses, use that sum function we just talked about, and create a tool that tracks your spending in real time. It's super practical, and you already have all the skills you need to build it.
And just like that, you've gone from staring at an empty grid to understanding the core of how Excel works. Think about it. You now know how to get around, organize your data, make Excel do the math for you, and create visuals. You've got a really solid foundation.
We've basically covered the first 4 essential points on the path to mastering this thing. And what's really exciting is that these skills open the door to some of the more advanced tools, like the incredibly powerful pivot tables for summarizing data, or VLOOKUP for finding information across different sheets.
So let's end with this thought. Excel isn't just for number crunchers. It's a tool for storytellers. You now have the basic vocabulary to make numbers clear, insightful, and even persuasive. So the only question left is, what story is your data going to tell?